Hello, and welcome back to Dark Souls. We're going to go to things betwixt straight away, and we're going to hunt some ogre. We've got two more to take out. Two that we didn't take out the first time around. It's a bit dark down here, so I'm going to go back and light a torch and light one of the sconces further down. And in the previous episode we killed the pursuer and the last giant and picked up a decent amount of souls, and the remainder of this episode is going to be taken up by doing a couple of wee jobs around Majula and then making our way to Heide's Tower of Flame. So there's two ogres down here, and there's a couple of methods you can use to take them out. I wouldn't advise fighting them down there, it can be quite challenging. I would bring them in here. Take the archer out first, obviously, and you don't need to take him out. And what you do is you want to bait them into attacking you, and you want to use the width of the tree to your advantage. But be careful, they can actually hit you, and they can connect, even though the tree is quite narrow. But you get the picture, so I'm not going to go through it all. You can also take them up to the tree bridge further up, and you can get one of them to fall off. And the first time I played the game in PlayStation, this is how I found out to kill them. I ran away from them, and they followed me up into here, and I thought, why not give it a shot? So now that they're dead, you can use the coffin to change your sex. And that's what the coffin's function is, to allow you to change your sex. And as pretty as we are as a female Viking warrior, we're going to go back to being male. And this area here is interesting, and this reminds me of the arch trees in Dark Souls 1, and the ones behind it look kind of like petrified tree stumps. Might be wrong about that, but you'll remember that Lordran was like kind of one contiguous area, like it was supported by a number of arch trees, and it kind of held up the world, which is a part of Norse mythology. Interesting that these guys respawn if you change your sex, so just bear that in mind.
Oh, hello again.
So we're back to Mollin, and I do buy this kite. I know I don't buy it from him just now, but I do buy it from him, and
A group calling themselves the Blue Sentinels have gained much power in Volgan. You can't even run a shop with... They claim to be working for the greater good, but it's absolute hogwash.
So it's interesting that he says a group calling themselves. He doesn't proclaim that it is the actual Blue Sentinels, which is the covenant you can join by talking to Crestfallen Soldan. So we picked up the soul vessel in the previous episode, and if you bring it to her, the Firekeeper, she allows you Strown.
No, of course not.
Or Strown.
Go along then.
And she allows you to reallocate your points into different attributes. So now that we've killed the two ogres, it's interesting she uses the plural these when we only get one item, which is the handmaid's ladle.
In some small way.
And I see on people have made connections between the Handmaid's Ladle and the famous Margaret Atwood novel, The Handmaid's Tale. And in both cases the handmaids wear red robes. It might not have any connection whatsoever, but some people have speculated that maybe it's a reference by FromSoft. So if you want to use the Handmaid's Ladle to wreak havoc throughout Drown Lake, that's up to you, but I believe it becomes quite powerful under certain circumstances. So we're going to go and speak to Kale. He's the one that we met in the cave near in the Forest of Fallen Giants, who told us about this map.
Oh, hello again. You've made it. The map, I presume.
You've made it, the map, I presume.
Of course.
That's an interesting sentence. As if you're always stating that you made it.
Even more flames have appeared disappeared.
I know it's not written like that, but the way that
What causes
it's said by the voice actor and the way it comes up on the screen in subtitles,
Did you see
you
the
could
flame?
interpret it that way. So we
It
killed.
wasn't there when I came here before. I don't know what explains it.
Well, it's our actions that explain it. We killed the last giant, an ancient being. You'll remember at the beginning, the Emerald Herald explained to us about ancient beings and how these ancient beings have grown remarkably old, and
I would not venture far into that hole.
etc. etc. And
It was blocked.
killing these ancient beings causes these flames to appear on the map.
And I finished the job.
And I'm not sure what the significance
Foul sound
is
echoes with.
of those flames appearing, but
Did you see the flame on the map?
we'll find out, I guess, as we go through the game. So we're going to make our way to Heide's Tower of Flame. To get there, you go down the pathway that we're coming down just now, which you can access through in Majula. Contraption does not move. It's clear that this concrete contraption or stone contraption does move, and we'll find out how later. And another interesting thing that pertains to the things betwixt in the art, if they are arch trees, is the fact that we constantly seem to be descending when we progress through Dran Lake. This is a Crimson Parma, which is a wooden shield. Reminds me again of the kind of shields that the Vikings used. But yeah, so the arch trees supported the world above, like Lordran, and in Norse mythology I believe they hold up the sky. And when we come from things betwixt, we go up the wee hill and then we progress through the wee cave and then we go down the way into Majula. In the Forest of Fallen Giants we go down the way again. And then coming down here we descended again. It seems to be a lot of paths that kind of descend into the earth. But anyway, I don't want to speak because we're coming up to one of the most beautiful and atmospheric areas in the game. This is Heide's Flame of Tower of Flame, sorry. Flame of Tower, nope. And that cathedral looks very familiar. This whole place looks familiar in many different respects. It reminds me of Undead Parish in certain respects. It reminds me of the bell tower in Undead Parish, where we rang the bell with the gargoyles and whatnot. Yeah, run down here and immediately come to the bonfire. You don't have to take him on straight away. This is an old knight, and this one with the shield and the greatsword has about 600 or 700 health points, and they're easy, you just strafe around them. And this guy up here, this one has a big hammer, a great hammer, and I'm going to put the Travelling Merchant's hat on just so that I can get some drops. This guy doesn't respawn, and he has less health, he has only like 550 health points. No, sorry, this one has 860, the hammer guy has 860, I thought that was wrong. It's the guys with the ultra great swords that have 550. Great sword and shield 740. As you can see, they don't pose any trouble whatsoever. And we pick up a good item here, Sublime Bone Dust. And if you throw this into the bonfire at Majula, it increases the amount of Estus recovery you get from each sip. So we'll do that at some point. And so you've got Heide's Tower of Flame, or Heide's Tower of Flame, I believe it's pronounced Heide. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how it's pronounced. Heide's Tower of Flame. And this place is obviously something disastrous has happened here in Heide, and is this? That's right. I'm not sure whether the actual place is called Heide, or Heide refers to a greater area that surrounds this small location. But something disastrous has happened here. Obviously, the ground has given way. The sea is invaded inland, and the whole place is basically screwed. Pulling these levers causes that area over there to a platform to raise up, and that's important for a boss fight. So if you take out enemies in this area and you hear that noise, you know that that's signalling the fact that a lever's come up through the ground, and something for you to pull. But yeah, Heide's Tower of Flame, what's its purpose? You know, this area is obviously kind of, you know, messed up, and yet you've got this beacon. I don't know if that's its purpose. Maybe it's just a beacon to alert people to the fact that there's something important here, and we'll find out where that important thing is in the next episode. When I first came through here, I used arrows to draw these guys out, but actually just running in here seems to be a better strategy, because the other two retreat to defend their positions and let you take this guy on. This guy has less health than the other ones, so it doesn't take much to kill him. And this is a mistake. What you normally want to do is when you take the guy with the Ultra Greatsword out, run to this area, and the other old knight will follow you. At this point I realised I didn't have the Chloranthy ring on, so I just put it on. And I'm just being a wee bit kind of careless here, but it doesn't really matter. Even if they get hits in against us, we've got plenty of defence, plenty of health, and they're not doing much damage against us. And Palestone, that is similar to the item that you pick up in Dark Souls that allows you to reset. So like it says, it allows you to reset infusions, and we'll come to infusions later. These guys have a chance to drop the Palestones like you see. They have a high chance to drop orbs, cracked blue eye orbs, and they can drop their armour sets and their weapons. So I've changed over to the Drown Lake shield. I just wanted 100% block because you can see that there's a fog gate there, and we're going to go through that fog gate, and I'd rather have 100% block when I go in there. So I had to take off my gauntlets obviously in order to be below 70% equip burden, equip load. One of the dangers with these guys is that they push you back obviously when they connect with you, and just be careful that you don't you know, take a dive into the sea. Don't forget to pick this item up. I was worried the first time I came through here about going across there. It does look a bit perilous, but apparently it's fine. Just always have the wee roll, just to a wee comfort blanket there. So this is a boss fight, not a particularly difficult boss, and all I would recommend doing is you know, using a green blossom for some extra stamina. So this is a Dragon Rider, and I believe he let me talk about strategy first actually. Strategy is basically just a circle strafe like we have been doing with the old knights, and the only danger really in this room is that you can be pushed off the edge. That can't happen if you have pulled both levers. Both levers cause platforms to come up so that you can't fall into the sea, but I didn't pull the lever in the other room, the room with the 3 old knights. Not that it matters really in the end, because yeah, you'd be pretty unlucky if you did get pushed into the sea. He's a very easy boss really. especially if you've got 100% block shield. Probably his most dangerous thing is the shield bash, and it breaks your guard. Like that. Just try and roll away from it if you do get your guard broken. It has quite a lot of health though. I think it's like about over 3,000 health points. You get a decent amount of souls from this guy. So just pop a life gem here. It's a bit quicker for me just now than using a Estus flask. But yeah, apparently he serves King Vendrick, this guy Dragon Rider, and I guess his name gives you a clue. I was very lucky here, I didn't get knocked off into the ocean, but we'd raised the first platform. If we hadn't raised the first platform, I would have been in the ocean. But yeah, as his name suggests, this guy apparently rides dragons for King Vendrick. So I don't know what he's doing here in Heide's Tower of Flame. I wonder if we'll learn that as we go through the game. We get 12,000 souls for that, which isn't bad. I like his armour, his crimson armour and shield. What I'm going to do is, before we progress up the stairs, the other direction takes you up the stairs to a bonfire. So if you want to tag the bonfire, go and do that just now. I'm just going to show you, because it didn't do it the first time around, how to access the lever that will bring the other platform up. What you need to do to get access to the lever is defeat the 3 old knights that are in this room. I love the stained glass that they've got in this room as well. I guess at one point this must have been an important room. I'm not sure if the old knights are golems, you know, if they're soulless and they you know, they're bereft of consciousness. So there you go, you can see it raises the next platform. So here's the bonfire. And you can see that there's an NPC there, praying to the sun. And this is Lycia.
My name is Lycia. I have come to spread the art of miracles, a practice of which I am a disciple. I can see that you are well suited to comprehend their wondrous power. But the cost of it, that's for your heart to decide.
So she's making us feel good about ourselves by proclaiming, by telling us that we've got the ability to comprehend miracles.
The earth, ravaged. The burden on the people weighs heavy. I fear that by now, they may have scarce room in their hearts for miracles.
She makes you feel special.
Why did I come here? Well, do I need any other reason than to spread the gospel of miracles?
She uses religion to justify her actions
should be shared with the world.
And to basically brush off questions about her motivations, such as her only wish to spread the gospel. Does it kind of? Do you get a sense that she might be like a confidence trickster or whatever, or a con artist?
I must do this.
I get the impression that Lycia inveigoes herself. She inveigoes her way into people's confidences and trust, and uses religion to basically con them.
I expected this cathedral to be bustling, but there's hardly a soul to be found here.
That was the initial impression I got when I spoke to her. You know, there was something off about her. That the first, to play gull means to deceive,
teaching the good word.
and obviously the wee laugh at the end. It all, you know, it's easy to pick that up, to pick up on the fact that she's not what she claims to be. She has a good ring, apparently, if you're interested in faith base character builds, and she also has a very powerful spell, which is this one, the lightning spear. Apparently this, I don't normally make faith builds, but apparently this is very powerful, even at low levels.
I expected this to a place. Sorry. No need for miracles. The gods frown upon such.
And then she tries to make you feel
scribblers.
bad about the fact you haven't given her money. Just be very wary of Lycia. She's definitely a degenerate of sorts. This is strange. This seems to happen to me. It happened to me in Dark Souls as well. Remember when we were in the painted world of Ariamis, and the bird-like creatures decided to just attack me en masse. And strangely, whenever I've played this through here normally they don't both follow you into that room. Normally it's just the big guy with the greatsword that follows you, and the other guy with the shield goes back to defending his position. So I don't know what happened here. Anyway, we pick up a divine blessing. I know some people don't like them, and like that guy says, pointless, or that guy or girl. The background in this area seems familiar to me as well, and obviously the architecture of the cathedral looks very familiar, especially the side where you've got the kind of support columns coming into the side of the building. That's very reminiscent of Anne Orlando's cathedral. And another thing that I was thinking about actually just there, I hadn't thought about this before, but if these guys are golems and you know they're without soul and without thought, the ability to think, then are they a test maybe that they've been placed here to test people that journey through this area? And the reason I say that is because when you kill them, obviously these levers rise up from the ground, and you only get that access to these levers if you do kill them. I like this bit with the drawbridge falling down, and look at the iron chains. I love the motion of the chains. Small pleasures and all that. Even the kind of circular decoration up there, that reminds me of Anne Orlando as well. I think that might even be present in the cathedral in Anne Orlando. In here we pick up an important ring, the Ring of Binding, which is very similar to the Cling ring in Demon Souls. So when you're hollow, it reduces the amount of HP that you lose as punishment. And there's a fog gate behind us, and there is a boss fight in there, but we'll come back to that in the next episode. So we'll use the Sublime Bone Dust here. And I wonder what the story is with the bone dust. Whose bone has been ground down to make the dust available? And I mentioned in the previous episode, so now we get an extra little bit of HP restored every time we take a swig of Estus. I mentioned in the previous episode that Melentia, if you spend enough souls with her, she'll give you a ring. And I want that ring, so it's the covetous silver serpent ring +1. So you have to spend 10,000 souls. Again, she uses the plural, take these, when you're only getting one item. I wonder if FromSoft intended maybe at one point to give you a couple of items as a reward, but they took it out. Anyway, greed is traditionally viewed as a vice, but only a fool allows that to ruin a good opportunity. The god of greed, Xandro was it or something? That'll probably be my ring setup for the time being. Still haven't decided on a weapon yet. So now there's what, 12 million deaths? Before there was only like 600,000 or 700,000. And that was only a day ago or 2 days ago.
They fret over all and sundry. Oh, those were better days. Ah, dear me. It really takes me back.
So has he been here for a long time?
Have you seen that pit? That I don't know what it's like down below. Besides, you'll never make it down there. Not without a ladder of some sort.
That hints to what's to come in the future.
May you find peace on your journey.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next one, the boss, Heide's Tower of Flame.